It's December 17th, 2020. It's a nice day here in Seattle. I also cleaned up the garden quite a bit, as you can see. I threw away some plants and moved some plants around, mostly to prepare the garden for the winter and the move. Let's start the update over here with the lavender. It looks pretty much the same. The rosemary is still flowering, as you can see right here. Many new flowers are opening. And over here I moved some of the plants around. This is the crimson clover that was in that pot of mixed plants. I transplanted into the smaller pot. Here's some succulents, and the hydrangea is still there. Here's the dahlia that I cleaned and put away. Here's the peony, and this is the ginger. And here's the calla. They're all put away now. I also moved the saffron over here. You can see it's still growing nicely. These guys as well. Here's the green onion. Looks like it's still sending out new growth. And as I mentioned in my last update, this rosemary is actually flowering. Here you can see more flower buds forming. And here's a bunch more flower buds. And here are the winter bulbs. Let's take a closer look at all of the pots. Here's the crocus. It's already sprouting. And this, I believe, is the tulip. It's also sprouting. This one, I think, is the Persian pearl tulip. I'll double check. Give me 1 second. Yep, it looks like it's the Persian pearl tulip. It's also sprouting now. A closer look here. This pot is the summer snowflake that we looked at in the last update. This one, no sprouts. This one over here is also sprouting. You can see that tiny green thing over there. According to the label, it's also a summer snowflake. Seems like they're all sprouting now. And over here, this pot is the hyacinth. Seems like the hyacinth is also sprouting too. This is another summer snowflake. Not seeing any sprout yet. Lastly is the daffodil. Very nice sprouts forming. And the mulberry is looking pretty dormant. As you can see, all the leaves are gone now. Can't really see any of the dormant buds right now. Not sure if they're gonna form in the next few weeks. Here's the lily of the valley. If you take a closer look, you can see those dormant buds forming right above the soil. Blueberry looks pretty much the same as last week. Pretty much dormant now, with the dormant buds all over the plant. Here's the raspberry. As you can see, I cleaned up the plant quite a bit, and I also moved the location. Here's some of the dormant buds as well. The grape hyacinth is still here, and the strawberries are gone. I actually threw them away, as well as the pot of mixed plants. I threw that away too. Here's some of the hydrangea. This little guy over here is still going dormant. The leaves are dropping still, like this leaf over here. I moved the mint and artichoke over here. The artichoke is still sending out new leaves, as you can see. Here's the asparagus. I didn't move it. I also cleaned it up quite a bit with the potato still here. I also cleaned up the grape, as you can see. Most of the stems are gone. I didn't move the rhubarb, and this new leaf still hasn't died back yet. Those two other hydrangea are here now. They're still dying back. As for the indoor garden, here we have the succulents. This guy is looking pretty healthy, with a bunch of tiny baby growth on the side. The snake plant is standing out this new leaf, as I mentioned in the last update, and another snake plant. Here's the orchids. The mini dendrobium is sending out a lot of new growth still. Right here you can see some new growth forming at the base of the plant. This one is also sending out another new growth. Here are the lady slipper orchid. Right here you can see it's sending out a lot of new leaves, and on the side of the plant is this new growth. This other lady slipper orchid is doing the same thing. On the side is this new plant forming. As for the mini oncidiums, I cut away the flower spikes because there were so many aphids. So yeah, the flowers are gone now. And here are the other orchids. I washed all of the orchids' leaf just in case there were still aphids. Here's the phalaenopsis, looks about the same. And you can see the roots are looking pretty healthy. Here's the Easter cactus. Looks like the leaves are still forming slowly. Not seeing any new growth recently though. As I was watering the elephant bush plants, as you can see some of the branches has fallen off. So I took the branches and stick them into some wet soil. Hopefully they'll grow. I cleaned up this succulent pot. One of the main plants was moved outside actually. This little one is still doing great. That's a good sign. And the other ones are just dropping leaves. Here is the elephant bush. This is what it looks like now. A lot fewer leaves. And the frizzle sizzle looks about the same. The pineapple also looks about the same with some new leaves still forming. Here's the dragon tree plant. Here's some more succulents. This little guy over here is still growing. You can see new leaves forming, and on the side is that baby plant from the last update, still growing. Here's just another angle to see the other new growth from the other side. The philodendron looks about the same. I moved the snake plant over here. Hoya plant is still growing nicely. The new vines are sending out a lot of new leaves. This one is getting a little messy. Right here you can see new leaves forming on this new vine. And the pear plant is now here. The new growths are all looking very healthy still. Lastly, we have the staghorn fern. This little new shield frond is still getting bigger. Really like that shape. And the second new shield frond is getting very big. It's almost getting bigger than the previous shield fronds. On close-up, you can see this beautiful veiny patterns.